Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Sanbonan, Dumela. I want to say it in Tsonga. Reperir. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Let me begin by observing protocol. Council members that are here, the vice principal, commissioners, and dignitaries that are in our midst, management of the university, the dean and CEO of SBL, and everyone else. Allow me to welcome you all and to greet you all. My task is a simple one. It's twofold. I was tasked to give congratulatory remarks and also to do a vote of thanks. But before I do that, there are bottles in our tables. They've got liquid. In preparation for our vote of thanks, I want us to start occupying them with the liquid in our table so that we can utilize them for our vote of thanks. But for the congratulatory remarks, I want to say three things, really to appreciate Dr. Naledi Pandor. We grew up seeing on the TV screens. She's really an embodiment of what leadership is to us in our generation. Three things. The first thing that I want to say really is that today we are celebrating empathy, embodied in the person of Dr. Naledi Pandor. Empathy really is about the ability not to be selfish and think that when there are problems, when there are challenges in the world, you can simply focus on yourself and forget what's going on in the world. Empathy is about being open. Empathy is about responding to pain. Empathy is about seeing the suffering that's happening in the world. Empathy is about understanding that we all share in the common cloth of humanity. And empathy is to say, when others suffer, I suffer with them. Empathy is about saying, when others feel pain, I feel pain with them. Empathy is to wish for joy for everyone. Empathy is to wish for a better humanity. Today, as we celebrate you, Dr. Naledi Pandor, we honor you because we have seen in your humanity an example of empathy. And one of the hallmarks of leadership, the literature concurs that is this soft skill of empathy, just the ability to connect, the ability to understand, the ability to be able to share. And today we congratulate you for embodying this value of empathy. We're very grateful that we have an opportunity to walk next to a humanity like yours that embodies this value of empathy. That's the first remark I wanted to make as we thank you for teaching us and showing us that empathy is possible. We can be able to share in this humanity. The second thing I want to talk about that we're celebrating today, it's this thing of leadership. This thing of leadership. And this thing is important to us as UNISA SBL because most business schools have got an MBA, and we also have an MBA. But what makes UNISA Business School distinct from other business schools is that we also have an MBL, which is a Master of Business Leadership. What makes this leadership important to us is because we want managers who are going to worry about results, 5%, 10% of that. But what leadership tends to do, it leaves out the meticulousness of numbers, of results. It looks for something abstract, something meaningful, something deep. It looks for humanity. How do we advance the cause of humanity that you can't measure in percentages? It looks for solving deep problems that affect humanity that all of us can resonate with at the level of empathy. It seeks to challenge all of us to say, we need to move beyond addressing 2%, 3%. We need to say, how do we cater for humanity in a tent that is going to make sure that there's food on every table? Because that is a human thing that we want. And we are just celebrating you today because you've been a great administrator, but more than that, we saw in your practice that spirit of leadership where you want to show the world that we can do something to change the condition of humanity in the world. And that's what leadership is about. Leadership is about imagining and changing the landscape, not of percentages, not of results, but the landscape of how the future looks. If people today are suffering, how do we change that landscape to create a world where there is less suffering? And for that, we celebrate you because you have embodied a leadership that wants to change the landscape of how the future is going to be about. We see in you a person who has grappled with how the future should look. And finally, not only have you shown us a future that is grappling with the landscape of the shape that as Africans we must contribute, but you've showed us something that connected to leadership is this thing that we pride ourselves with at UNISA SBL, this thing called responsible leadership. Many people occupy a position of leadership, but what you have shown us, that true essence of leadership is this thing that we call responsible leadership. Responsible leadership is daring. Responsible leadership is courageous. Responsible leadership is worried about the planet. What can we do to change the planet? Responsible leadership is worried about the future of our children. Your work in education to say, how do we change the issue in numeracy? How do we change the issue in literacy? It's worried about the future of the next generation. What are we depositing for the next generation? That is what responsible leadership is about. Your side and your contribution to the issue of Gaza shows us responsible leadership. When there are powerful forces that are supporting what is happening in Gaza, you stood in the most southern part of the continent, a small country in a continent that is looked down. You raised a voice that reverberated across the continent and moved across other continents. And you said to the continents, we will speak without worrying whether we don't have a voice in the global south. And it is what we call responsible leadership. We thank you for that. And for that reason, as UNISA, we want to thank you. Our value proposition as UNISA is that service to humanity. You have shown us through responsible leadership that we are committed to this thing of service to leadership. And for that reason, the whole university and the College of Business School is here to say, we honor your responsible leadership. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Can we give a round of applause? Let's move to the good things now. The difficult part is finished. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask all of us, when we have occupied our bottles with the liquid in our table, I'm going to ask all of us to stand up. Please don't be shy. Fill the bottles with the liquid. I have mine. And I'm going to ask all of us to rise up, and we're going to do a toast. We're going to stand up and we're going to do a toast. First and foremost, the first thing that we are going to toast to, this table, this particular table, has got 3 powerful women. We are going to celebrate women leaders. We are going to raise a glass to these 3 leaders. We are going to celebrate Professor Phumela Msweli, Professor Puleng Linkabula, our VC, and we are going to celebrate our awardee, Dr. Naledi Panda. Can we raise our glass as we celebrate them? Thank you. Cheers. We are going to celebrate secondly, UNISA SBL this year is celebrating its 60th anniversary, and it was awarded an international accreditation by BGA. We are going to raise our glass to celebrate that. UNISA is a force to reckon with, and we are here for everything. And finally, we are going to celebrate to another 300 years of UNISA, to another 120 years of UNISA SBL. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.